before I bring in the next speaker.
With the 9th of December being the World Anti-Corruption Day, AFRICOG marked the day with a report that laid bare the corruption menace under President William Ruto in the last 2 years of his presidency.
William Ruto.
The report claims that corruption cases have been on the rise and Kenyans will continue to lose money as the government has shown no interest in the quest to weed out the corruption monster. As per AFRICOG, President Ruto has been the biggest impediment to the fight.
Many of those asked, the majority of those asked, gave the responsibility for that movement in the wrong direction to the president himself, which, as you know, the buck stops with him. So that's only to be expected. Yeah, so that's why we said we are moving in the wrong direction. Corruption is not reducing, it is increasing.
Gladwell Otieno, AFRICOG Executive Director, asserts that appointments done by President William Ruto in various sectors are clear indication of the declining zeal to fight corruption.
Impunity is increasing. We've seen people being, seen charges being dropped against people who were accused of some very serious crimes. Some of the people who were appointed into the cabinet were accused of serious crimes, not just, you know, civil infractions.
The Auditor General's reports show that 20% of government expenditure is actually being stolen.
Withdrawal of corruption cases targeting prominent individuals was also cited as disheartening to Kenyans at large, including how the judiciary handles the said cases.
There are not that many people who think that there is still a capacity to do anything about corruption in this country.
These are not just individual outbreaks of corruption scandals. This is a system which is entrenched and which works to reproduce corruption and impunity, and it will get worse if nothing happens to stop it.
Despite claims that government loses 2 billion shillings a day, the amount is said to be even higher as officials in government devise new ways of pilfering funds through budgeted corruptions.
Money is put into the budget for no other purpose than to be extracted for corrupt ends.
Whistleblowers appear to be persecuted. AFRICOG is also disturbed by how the government responded to the Gen Z uprising, demanding an end to corrupt dealings and good governance. Some were killed, arrested, abducted and tortured.
They tend to weaken those institutions which compete with them or which pose a threat to them. So we've seen, for example, the controller of budget, who's been quite outspoken, being threatened and sued, prosecuted. The president invited members of the opposition into his government, so there are ever more mouths to feed. No? You remember the phrase, it's our turn to eat.
EACC was not spared, with the organization lamenting the declining cases coming from the agency.
Reports to the EACC are declining year on year. We're now talking about only 5,000 complaints being made to them, when 5 years ago they used to receive 10,000 complaints a year. It tells you that people have lost faith in that institution.
The Adani contracts relating to JKIA and Ketraco, as well as the edible oil scandal, are said to be some of the biggest corrupt dealings under the Kenya Kwanza government. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.